So, as the owner of this Facebook page, Facebook group, I got over 100 Facebook pages, groups. I develop businesses pretty much all over the planet. I'm 46 now. But let's get to the smoking thing, because let's say it like this. No, let me say it like this. I smoked 2 times. I had 2 times a period in my life that I smoked. In the meantime, I'm drinking a beer because I want to share this experience. I'm sitting now at the moment in an Airbnb. I'm traveling for the past 15 years. I'm developing businesses. I'm at the moment in Bulgaria. While I'm drinking a beer, over here you got the 2 liter bottles. But, so like I said, I smoked. I had a period when I was 25. And I'm sharing, and I smoked a couple of, until the 31st of October this year. So the things that I'm going to share are pretty recent. Been there, done that kind of thing. So, and I do believe that there are some things that people simply don't tell you, but I can pretty much talk about them. Because let's start with the first time that I stopped. So when I stopped smoking when I was 25, it was, see, the thing what I do believe in, you cannot just stop one so-called addiction and don't replace it with something else. Or you need to be in such a pain that you have to stop. But let's talk a little bit about pain, because, so for example, my step-parents, they died 15 years ago because of smoking. And the thing is, at one point, when my mother, for example, my stepmother, when she had lung cancer, they cut off her lung and she still smoked. So that is, and what I also do believe in, at one point, you are so addicted, it's gonna be horrible. Because this is the thing. Like I said, I stopped 2 times with smoking. The second time now was way much harder. So let's go first to the first time. When I stopped smoking, I simply did it like this. Because I was smoking cigarettes most of the times when I was just drinking and just partying and then smoke cigarettes. So this is what I did to stop doing that, because I still do believe that smoking has totally no function besides maybe you have a little bit this moment of peace. But let's say it from in my personal case, I always train. I train pretty much. I'm training 2 times a day, even when I smoked. The thing is, where was I with my story? Yeah. No, I don't know. The thing is, okay, the first time when I stopped, this is what I did. So I smoked cigarettes. I replaced the cigarettes with incredibly heavy tobacco, smoked as much as I could, and then I did the boxing sessions. Like this, I did a lot of, let's say, I created a lot of pain. Gasping for air, burning lungs, which is pretty painful if you familiar with a little bit, let's say, endurance. And in my case, I do a lot of running and calisthenics. But everything what is related to, so for example, if you would smoke and go to the gym, yeah, okay, yeah, you still need your lungs. But when you, for example, also do a 15-kilometer run or a 25-kilometer run, it's simply, it's fucking horrible. And not only that, it also, to recover from your long endurance exercises like running, boxing, calisthenics, not so much, but the recovery of let's say the muscles after calisthenics also. I had a lot of the tendons, the muscles and everything that were took much longer to recover. So the first time that I stopped was simply increasing endurance things, and before that, just smoke very heavy tobacco. Now the second time, and that was actually, I stopped now since the 31st of October, but I started smoking around New Year's Eve this year, 2024 New Year's Eve, until the 31st of October, so that's 10 months, almost 11 months, because it's, the end of the month of October. So, and I did several attempts, because like I said, or maybe I didn't say it, the second time was way much more mentally and physically. And I'm gonna tell you this, probably some of you did try to stop, but there's also something that other people also not telling you when it's about the process of, because I really analyzed what is actually happening. Because the first 2 days when I stopped smoking, I also felt very feverish. After 48 hours, I felt incredibly feverish for at least 2-3 days. Yes, that was, and I also, when I was in those 72 hours of feeling very feverish, I also thought like this. When I go through this period, I would really remind myself of this 72 hours, because it was freaking horrible. Yeah. And also, let me tell you this, I used a lot of drugs in my life when I was between my 20s and 30s. And trust me, no, you don't have to trust me because you don't know me. But even like any kind of drugs, to get rid of the smoking thing out of your system, yeah, that is incredibly intense. And maybe also the reason that I'm saying this, because probably a lot of people will have the intention to stop smoking, because of the New Year's things. I would say it like this, because a lot of people are very quickly like, okay, when I stop, I'm gonna stop, and it needs to be very abrupt. Let me tell you this, I started doing my attempts, I think in July I already want to stop. But this is the thing, I think you should allow yourself also a few attempts along the way. Because let's say the first attempt, I was pretty happy that I stopped, but then I start smoking after 2 weeks again. Increase the amount of trainings just to try to inflict as much pain as I could on myself. I stopped again, but with the mindset like, if I would start smoking again, then I would simply increase the amount of self-inflicted pain, but also I would allow myself to get rid of this incredibly urge. Now, and this is the thing what I do believe that a lot of people don't talk about, you should allow yourself at one point, especially in the beginning, because you cannot stop abruptly with something, especially when, see, I wasn't a very heavy smoker, but I do understand from people, I know a lot of people who smoke more than 10 years. Those people need to take out, I do believe, and no matter, and probably doctors, see, I'm not a doctor, I'm just sharing my own experience and also what I think about it. And I really analyzed the way I felt about it when it's about stop smoking. I really analyzed the mental thing, the physical thing. Like I said, I had the fever for 72 hours, at least 72 hours. Probably it was even 4 or 5 days. The thing is, that is something when I was, because I also never had this before, this whole feverish thing. And I also researched it. It is part of the possible symptoms. And the thing is, like I said, when I was, and maybe it also has to do with my age, because I'm within next week I'm gonna be 46. That's also one of the reasons that I want to stop smoking, because if I would keep on smoking, you know, it increases the speed of that you start looking very old, which I really don't want. Which is, of course, for a lot of people that they don't want. But let's say I'm also in the fitness business thing. So the thing is, I need to really take care of that, about my appearance. And also when I do business meetings, I cannot look like an average 46 guy who coughs and all that kind of stuff. So that was also one of the reasons. So I think that most people need to create a whole list for themselves, all the reasons why you should stop. If your list is not bigger than 25 reasons, because I have way much more reasons, I think you should have a list, all the reasons. And also the thing is that you read, no, first let's finish this one. You write them down. And this is not again, this mumbo jumbo you have to write down. You have affirmations that you look in the mirror and you say, today I'm gonna stop smoking, or I cannot hold it. See, this is also something, when you have the urge to smoke, and this is what I also do believe in, because of my own experience. And again, I wasn't a very heavy smoker, and probably people who smoked over 10, 15 years or even 20 years, I cannot believe how much effort that will take. I also talked with people about stop smoking. They smoking since they were 13. And this guy was 22, but still, that is more than half. Yeah, almost. Yeah, let's say more than half of your adult life. Those people simply not gonna stop. At least this one is not gonna stop, and there are a lot of people like that. But let's get to the point. In order to stop smoking, you need to have this big list. Why should I stop? Now let me get to a little bit some points that I do think that is relatable to a lot of people. First of all, if you like your life, yeah, you can get hit by a car or whatever tomorrow. God forbid that's not gonna happen. But let's say it would happen. Would you not? Because I do believe also people who smoke for a long time, even if you do normal movements, or you have to go to the supermarket very quickly, or any kind of thing, you feel too tired for it. At least at one point I felt very tired, but I did it, but it took me a lot of effort, more effort than any normal person would actually, when I didn't smoke. And that is the thing. I start really comparing how did I feel when I don't smoke. Also my skin, now it starts to look a little bit normal. The thing is, at one point, I was looking at myself in the mirror, especially when I wake up. I get up early, so I'm making very long days. So this video is also just in my free time, because I'm running this specific page, but I'm not putting a lot of effort in it. That's why I thought, now I have the experience, of 2 times stopping. And like I said, I'm not the heaviest smoker on the freaking planet, but I do believe that there are some things. Wait a minute, the recording, is it still working? Yeah. So this list, for me, it was personally my appearance. I felt more quickly tired when I did my runs. My runs, they decreased at least with 1/3. Also the recovery time for my calisthenics thing, which I'm doing every day, was also longer, but also my how do you call those things? Joints. Those joints got very how do you call that? Burning, and everything took way much longer to recover also. But also while I was doing at one point, I thought I can feel it. Now I start. Let's say it like this: I stopped at the 31st of October, and actually since now it's Friday. Actually, since this Monday, I really start feeling a little bit more the extra air that I can have. But it will take, because I did also the research. So in my case, I smoked, let's say, 11 months this year. It takes you at least 2 weeks, because I asked, and then those things, of course, per person is different, but people with an active life, it goes a little bit faster. But the thing is, in my case, 11 months would take 2 months that those hairs, oh no, 2 weeks that those hair actually in your lungs start moving again and start, be receptive and getting back. But to get rid of the tar that I collected the past 11 months, that will take at least up to 10 months. Then I will be back on my full capacity, what is possible. And this is the thing that really also sometimes fucked with my mind. So every time, seeing at the moment, I'm totally got rid of the urge, because I brainwashed myself on such a level that if I'm gonna smoke again, then I'm gonna smoke forever. And I'm saying this very honest, because, but like I said, I also wouldn't go through I don't want to go through those 72 hours or 4 or 5 days even of feeling that feverish. You're not sick, but still it feels like you're detoxing. That's how it felt. Anyway, what else can I say about it? Because uh, I talked about the detox part, a little bit inflicting self. Oh yeah, again, I'm gonna say this again. When you decide to stop, set an amount of max. And again, I'm not giving you medical advice, but I'm just telling you how I do it. That you allow yourself, let's do max 3 attempts for the next 6 months. For example, I'm just giving you need to do something with a time frame. You need to implement some sort of being, let's say, soft on yourself. Because, let's say it like this, because the moment that you actually stop, you also need to find to replace something with it. And that is not eating chocolate or start eating chips. You need to find something that is actually going to be, let's say, quote unquote, easy to do, accessible for you. Because once you stop smoking, the first days, you need to distract yourself. Maybe it's something like, now yeah, not everybody likes to go for a run, but let's say it like this: if you never run, you cannot go for a 5 kilometer run. That is what some people also say. I'm thinking that is not realistic. And when it's let me talk a little bit about running, because I'm very obsessed with running. The thing is, your whole body, when you start running and you never run before, you need to adapt everything. When you really run, your whole skeleton, all the muscle, all the joints, everything needs to get stronger. So you cannot get up. Hey, you throw away tonight your cigarettes, and you think, oh, every time when I feel like smoking, I'm going for a 10 kilometer run or a 5 kilometer run. It's better, you know. Let's say it like this: if you can do 1 or 2 kilometers, just walk, maybe slowly start, let's say, investing in running shoes, you know, because the amount of money that most people spend depends on which country you are, but you know, invest in sports shoes, start doing little runs, and even if you fast walk, but every time when you feel the urge, you need to do something, and you need to think about how to fight this urge to eat, to get do these cravings. People talked about cravings, but it's not more or less um, because I stopped smoking. I got simply very hungry, and I also do believe because food starts to taste good again. Because when you smoke, food doesn't taste the way it should. Because be very honest, you know, you lick on an ashtray and eat a banana. That sounds very black and white, I understand, but I try to make a point over here, right? You're sucking on 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 a stick with tobacco, and you cannot, you know, and if you do this for a long time. Also, another thing, maybe something to put on your list, that while yellow teeth, don't like it. My teeth, anyway, they're not very yellow or something, but I can see it. I'm not very proud of my teeth, so I'm going very soon to the dentist, and that's also something. You have to reward yourself with something. So, for example, I'm wearing lenses, but you cannot laser your eyes. At least they don't recommend it, you know. So when I want uh, to laser my eyes, it's better to stop smoking. Was another thing on my list. I want to laser my eyes so I don't have to wear lenses. Another thing is I would never have liked to have the yellow teeth. So I also thought when I stop smoking, I'm gonna bleach my teeth. I'm gonna do it professionally. I'm not going to the pharmacy to buy some cheap stuff. So another thing, I would see better. I would fix my teeth, you know, that they look shiny. So where are the negatives? Don't. I don't see the negatives in that. Another thing, I replaced the money that I spent on cigarettes with I'm buying a pair of socks instead of cigarettes. When I feel sometimes the urge to buy the cigarettes, but I don't have the urge anymore to smoke. But you know, I just buy cigarettes, or I buy socks, or I buy something that is similar to the price of a packet of cigarettes. And you know, wait a minute. Is it still recording? Okay, maybe. I think we're good. Anyway, reward yourself. Also think like this. Let me also tell you this. When I also, the first 7 days, it felt like that I stopped already for a year. And that's also, I do believe, a mental, because your mind is occupied with it. That is also a mental barrier. That it takes so freaking long, but you have to push through it. Every single hour, probably for some people, every single hour is already a win. But that's simply a fight that I do believe that you constantly have to remind yourself. Now I'm 3 hours further. If I start smoking now again, I'm going back and I have to do again the 3 hours. That's at least that's how I fought. I fought in days because, like I said, I wasn't a very heavy smoker. So, you know, that's how I was thinking. So when I passed the 7 days, then I was thinking like this: if I would smoke again, that puts me back. Then I have to go again the first 7 days, again. Okay, and some people might think, yeah, that contradicts a little bit with the thing, allow yourself attempts. But this was already my third attempt this year, and I thought, I'm gonna do it. Otherwise, like I said, if I would start smoking again, I'm also not gonna do, for example, some I know people who also stopped and they say, Yeah, I allow myself to smoke once in a while, and no, not for me, because when I do something, I also keep on doing it. Let's say it like this. It's for me in my case, all the way or no way. Yeah. Mm, I don't know where everybody's located, but I'm at the moment located in Bulgaria. So that's why I said the. So yeah, in case some people think, what kind of language is he speaking? I speak Dutch because I lived in Holland for 30 years. I lived in Spain, Malta, Bulgaria now, going back to Sicily maybe. But like I said, maybe Dubai. In Dubai I have my office. Anyway, let's get back to the smoking thing. So, like I said, that is another mental thing. Think like this. So if you're really a heavy smoker, then you think like this. Let's go to the first 6 hours. And once you go to the first 6 hours, reward yourself. And another thing that I tried with my second attempt, I was using those tobacco bags. I do have the packets over here, but over there, but I'm not gonna get up now because I'm sitting in my underwear. But those little tiny white bags, you put them over here under your teeth, under your lip, or whatever, and then it replaces the tobacco. But at one point, that also didn't work for me because it's actually pretty disgusting. What else? You can try that. Those plasters. I do believe everything like those plasters, those tobacco things. It's just a little temporary thing just to get away from from the nicotine intake. But it's not only the nicotine. I do believe also it's the whole habit. You know, you got your lighter, you got a package of cigarettes, you drink a coffee, you do whatever you do normally with the. So you need replace it. You know. So in my case, what I also did every time when I had the urge, because it's a lot. I do believe that's also 60-70% a mental thing. So I also start reading. I always read a lot, but now I every time when I want to to smoke, I read just to push it through those moments that I want to smoke a cigarette. And especially in the time when I have this feverish feeling, yeah. What else? There's actually a lot of things that I actually experienced and but also really noticed because a lot of people say, yeah, just stop. Well, first of all, I do believe you have to allow yourself a max amount of attempts in a specific kind of time frame. And again, especially people who smoke longer than 10 years, I think, I do believe those people, they need to have at least a year. Maybe if I would smoke, I never smoked for such a long time, but let's say it like this. If I would smoke 10 years, let's say 10 years, I would set myself for a year and then maybe max 6 attempts or something, and then constantly try to learn from the experience. What do you feel actually, you know? I do believe that's also part of the process that you really understand where is the pain coming from and the pain, the urge of smoking. What kind of moments do I want to smoke? Do I want to smoke only when I sit with other people who smoke, you know? Do I want to smoke when I drink? See, that's also, my urge is totally gone. So, you know, I don't have any problems with drinking a beer now. I'm just doing a lot of video calls and, you know, that's what I do for a living. And I thought to actually share my experience because I thought about it already for a long time. And even though the group, this group has over less than 60 people, but still, you know, I do believe that it's that I probably did say something that maybe you need to hear it, or I don't know what. Maybe it confirms some. Maybe you had some thoughts to stop, and maybe you can try. Also put that list together. If you got kids, especially people with kids. Like I said, my parents died. My step parents 15 years ago. I'm 46 within 1 week. No, my mother died when I was 29, so she already died a long time ago. So she was actually 56. So that would mean if I would smoke, I would die in 10 years. Yeah, a lot of people would say you can get under a fucking bus. Yeah, that's true. But there's also something to control. I get a message also. I'm now looking at. The thing is, you can control it. And the fact that you get under a bus, that's also some bullshit talk, from some people that say, use that as an excuse. Yeah, tomorrow I can get under a bus, I better keep on smoking. Because I heard that excuse a lot. That's why I'm sharing. Maybe you never heard it, but I hear it a lot. Or maybe I get a heart attack. Well, smoking is enhancing the possibility of getting a freaking heart attack. What else? What I also did, because, and in my case, I'm just everything I share is just, like I said, I'm not a professional. But the thing is, what I also did, I started really focusing. Instead of spending money on cigarettes, I bought, for example, extra vegetables. You have to find things that interest you, that to replace the cigarettes, the whole habit of doing things. So, for example, if you got the habit in drinking coffee in the morning, don't drink the coffee. Do drink it a little bit later. For example, you get up, you drink coffee, you smoke a cigarette. But instead, and those are very tiny tweaks, and I'm just sharing it. That's what I also did, because I also smoked in the morning at one point. The thing is, what I did, I didn't do the coffee, but I did first a lot of water until it was filled up, so I didn't want to drink coffee anymore for at least an hour. Worked for me. I'm not saying I'm gonna work for you. So try it. Those little tiny changes in habits. So in my case, I just increased also my runs. I increased my boxing. I increased everything. So, I need the fucking air. I need my air. Sorry for saying the word fucking, but the thing is, I'm just giving real talk over here. What else? What else did I experience? Yeah, now, let me say it is. Again, I'm very, very grateful, thankful, blessed that I also don't have the urge anymore. Because this is also what I did. I hated at one point, when I smoke a cigarette, I think, I want to stop and still doing it. I feel like a fucking slave from the fucking cigarettes. Yeah. Which I also don't like, because let's say it like this, if you would know, let me tell you very quickly a little bit about my personality. I never worked for a boss, or I always develop my things, I'm always creative, blah blah blah. So I don't like to be, a slave to something external. I don't like that. I don't like that. I control what I'm doing. And not that I'm a control freak, but I don't like to do acts of negative influence on myself. It's just like I'm telling the guy upstairs, how can I figure out how to get sooner to heaven? And one person said once, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. I don't want to die. Okay, we will die one day, but I prefer to that it stays away a little bit. Just a little bit. So what else? We had the attend, make the list. Prepare yourself for a very shitty period. Not gonna sugarcoat it. I also replaced it with a lot of other things, physical activities. Yeah, I have to think a little bit about my wordings. You probably understand that because I don't want this. I hope some people find some value from this video. And let's say it also like this: if you got questions, because I probably also missed a lot of things. I was just sitting now, and I thought let's put this video out and let's see how people respond. Maybe you freaking hate it. I don't know. Just leave something in the comments. I know this group has only 60 people, but let's say it like this. If from those 60 people only maybe even one does an attempt and succeeds, then this, let's say 35 minutes, yeah, still a good amount of time to invest in just sharing a little bit my thoughts. But if you got any question when it's about, let's say it like this, I'm also strategizing the business structures, but also for normal people how to get away from their bosses and all that kind of stuff, because this is really what I'm doing for a living. Automation. I'm using AI a lot, and this isn't not gonna be about what I'm doing, but I'm just explaining you a little bit my mentality about, let's say, my intentions about sharing this on my story, because I like to bring value to people. There's nothing negative about sharing. I don't believe there's something negative about what I said. Maybe there are tiny things that are more valuable than a doctor tells you, put some patches on yourself and you still have the urge, and then you're still struggling with this mental, and I do believe it's one big mental freaking thing. And in my case, like I said, five, maybe even no, not 7 days. Yeah, 5, 6 days. I had this fluish feeling that I thought, that was heavy. And again, I don't want trying to discourage you or anything, but it's the truth. The truth. Nothing else. It's simply the raw reality, and like I always tell other people also, and also the young people who start working with me, it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. Otherwise, how many people on this planet are smoking? Millions and millions. If it was easy to stop, then nobody would smoke, right? If it was easy to get a six pack, if you, by the way, if you want to know how to get one, just look for Dotcombaron, Google it, and you find tons and tons of training videos, also my TikToks and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, just think about it. Make this list, sit down. And by the way, what I also did is every day I'm thinking about all the negative things and also the things that I wanted. Like I said, I want to laser my eyes, I want to whiten my teeth. There is no negative to, let's say, to work on your physical appearance. My eyesight is incredibly important though, so I don't see something negative in that also, to see that, to use that as a reason. I don't have children, so you cannot use the reason for now I want to live longer, because otherwise they're gonna miss their daddy very soon. But for people who have children, think about it. I've been there. My parents died. My adoption parents actually. My real parents actually, and never met them or saw them. But my adoption parents, yeah. Like I said, my mother died when I was 29, and my father, he died when I was 30. So it's way longer actually than 15 years. But think about it. No, my father was already older. But my mother, she died at 56. She could go at least, now let's say 14 years longer. That would mean that she would have died. If she would live for 14 years longer, it would mean she would, died a few years ago. Now, my 30s without parents. You know, really think about this. Do you want this also for your children? You know, if you have children. Yeah, what else can you think about next to a list? Allow yourself a few attempts. Set a time frame. Also be very realistic. How much do you smoke? So for example, in my case, I smoked at one point a package of cigarettes. So, I also know people, some smoke two packages of cigarettes for over a decade. Well, see, that's a whole different level that is way beyond above my thing. I'm like I said, I'm not some kind of doctor. I'm just sharing my experience. But I do believe that, and those people are actually 10xing on whatever. And another mental fuck to keep in mind. To start feeling the recovery, let's say it like this. Like I said, I was not a heavy smoker, but I do believe that people who actually smoked such a long time, they will start feeling the real benefits. Yeah, let's say after 2 3 months, and then I'm trying to be very positive. The real benefits, that you start coughing up the tear, that your lungs need to get empty. Let's say it like this: if your lungs at the moment are very incredibly black, they need to get alive. You revive them, because I know, again, about my parents. Their lungs were so. Yeah, my father. He ended up in an electric car. He couldn't walk, and you know why? Because there was no. Because then your lungs are like a balloon, but his balloon was like concrete. So every time when there's a little bit more intense things like walking was too much. And that is only because of the lungs. And really also think about this mind fuck is that the rest of your body still would work, and that the only thing is not working are your lungs are actually on your back, right? I see, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I do believe there's somewhere over there. Yeah, and they're on the back. That the lungs, that there's one organ that is simply stops you from living the life that you want. And I do believe that then, for example, when you end up, and he was still smoking, and that you end up in an electric scooter thing for disabled people, that you cannot turn it back anymore. When your lungs are, yeah, you can stop, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You already in the electric thing. Your age, blah blah blah. He lost his wife already. Motivation is not over there. AIDS is also part of the game, and all the time he was already working towards, cold feet. He had a lot of cold feet, migraines. I actually thought about it yesterday about his migraines, and I never could connect the things. He always cold feet, but that is really simply because when you smoke, all the very tiny veins they also get hard. They get the blood. Everything is also related with blood and veins and things. It's not only your lungs. It's everything. Like I said, when I also trained, the recovery of the muscles, you know, it's insane. When I even now speak about it, I'm saying really everything. When I think about it, I'm maybe even get emotional about the fact that I'm actually really really grateful that I got over this bump. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of the freaking smoking. I cannot, because let's say it like this: at the moment, if you would be my age, 46, it's still a good time to smoke, even when you're 56. I do understand, and I'm not saying that you should keep on smoking even if you're 70. But if you're 70, and it is not to talk bad, but still, I do believe if a 70 plus one stops smoking, life would be still a little bit better, right? Like I said, things taste better. Um, your veins, your everything, your skin. My skin also want looked very, very, very. Yeah, I'm see. Like I said, I'm always training. So when I do something to harm myself, see, I'm drinking beer now. Blah blah blah. Because some people might say, yeah, you drink beer, but I'm I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just drinking a beer or 2 liter beer. And and I keep on working. I keep on talking. See, I'm an obsessed growth strategist. This is what I'm doing for a living. Not drinking beer, obviously, but sharing value with people. Mostly out of my own experience, because this is also what I believe. See, like I said, a doctor, and they can tell you things. And let's say a doctor who never smoked cannot tell you those little tiny details, because when you wake up at night, that's also something. I had a lot of sleepless nights. And I thought, oh my god, next day I look like a freaking zombie. Let me also tell you this. In my case, at one point, I looked in the mirror and I thought, okay, I didn't sleep very well. I'm restless. I am constantly in a feverish pain. I thought, I, I had moments that I thought, I look better that I was smoking. And that is that is so not true. But I'm sharing this thing with you. This is what I really thought. I thought, okay, I only slept for 2 3 hours because I'm, restless. Because at one point you get also so much energy, and again it's only from my own experience. I had at one point so much energy that I think, what I'm gonna do with all this energy? Because see, I'm for myself always already very hyperactive. Smoking really puts it one down for at least. I'm not gonna exaggerate. At least for 1/4. Yeah, think about that. For a person who sleeps, now let's say I sleep 5 6 hours a day, train 2 times a day. The rest of the day I actually only create strategies and content. Um, Spend time with people. Not too much anymore because I just left one girlfriend also. Totally nutcase. Anyway, don't get off topic. That's also something. She smoked. Do I put it on her? No, not at all. But it's very, yeah, that's also something. I think, and I'm not telling people, who smoke with their partners to get rid of their partner. Maybe that's even better to stop smoking. But this one, that was the last one that I was with. She definitely not gonna stop smoking. She also did it for years, decades. So another thing, but it's good to team up. I think it's easier when you can team up with people to stop smoking. No, cheers. And like in Bulgaria, we would say, "Na zdravo." But yeah, think about it. The benefits. Let's say it like this: if you do it with your partner, your sex life is also much better without smoking. And trust me, I know. No, everything is better. Food, energy. Let's talk about the benefits. Your sex life is better. Food tastes better. You look better. More energy. Your whole energy level is better, which is good to vibrate the stuff to the world. And probably the first weeks is not the best thing that you want to vibrate in the world, because probably you're gonna be a little bit grumpy, don't feel very good in your own skin. And like I said, once in a while when I looked in the mirror, I think, you only look fucking worse, because where you don't sleep enough and all that kind of stuff, then yeah. So now at the moment I talked for almost 50 minutes, so I'm gonna leave it like this. Yeah, feel free to contact me if you're very serious with stop smoking, share your things, or put things in this group just to make it happen, that this group also starts to grow a little bit more. Then I also would put a little bit more effort in, because I do have a lot of resources that might help. Maybe I would consider even more weekly talks. Maybe that's nice. Maybe it would be nice to do group talks, you know. Place some suggestions in the comments. For example, let's say it like this. If from this group, 66 people, I think, want to stop smoking, um, we could organize something in the Facebook group chats, group talks, sharing experiences, log those experiences, and become part of a book. Because this is also what I'm doing. I'm creating. I got a lot of Facebook groups. We create things together. So we're busy now, for example, in our dog group with creating a guide where people share their experiences to make your dog go to the potty. But this is not about dog training. This group. This is about stop smoking, and I do believe it's a very positive thing. At least, yeah, I thought to give it a try just to share my experience. That's it. I'm gonna stop. Just drop your thoughts and any kind of ideas to make this group also better. Maybe I will automate extra content that I can grab from very useful resources, and then share the content also on the Facebook page. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Share your thoughts, share your experiences, and maybe pull in other people into this group. Let's see. Ciao for now.